Only about 57% of the viewers here on the Cowboys Report are actually subscribed. That's a bit of a disappointing number. Let's get that number up. Closer to 100%, the better. If you haven't already, hit that sub button right now. Some rumors to come, but the news from Sunday on the injury updates that went down from Saturday, mostly not good. DeMarvion Overshown tore his ACL. His season is over. He will go on IR soon, as will John Stevens, the tight end. He also tore his ACL, by the way. So both of those players' seasons are over. That will open up 2 more roster spots, although you're going to get down to 53 again next week, so not as impactful. Matt Waletzko's shoulder injury is minor, day-to-day, so he should be okay for week 1 in theory. All right, let's break down some Cowboys rumors, especially in light of the Matt Waletzko injury. Should the Cowboys bring back Jason Peters? I'm going to give this one 2 stars. I'm firmly in that rumor category right now for the Cowboys and for Peters. ESPN reported, Adam Schefter, courtesy of Peters' camp / his agent, that Peters wants to play another season, that he wants to be out there and give it another go for another year. Now, Peters is 41 years old. He is certainly not a spring chicken anymore. But the Cowboys, like a whole lot of teams out there, don't have very good depth on the offensive line. Peters played a little bit last year, and he was put in a very tough position of pretty much constantly bouncing around the offensive line. Right tackle, left guard, consistent just shuffling, which is not tough on any player, especially an older guy like Jason Peters. Now, the numbers were okay. The offensive line depth, though, for Dallas is maybe not okay. If your top 5 are out there, you're good. If those guys are out there, you will be okay. But your backups, Asim Richards, Matt Farniok, Brock Hoffman, Josh Ball, TJ Bass, if healthy, Chuma Edoga, Matt Waletzko. It's not a very good depth group, which is what most NFL teams are facing this time of the year. But you haven't been able to run the football at all in the late third, fourth quarter. For the most part, that's sort of a couple nice Deuce Vaughn runs. Your O-line's at least partially to blame there. So what would you guys do? Would you sign Jason Peters? This is today's pinned comment. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, that's fine. Actually, take advantage of the ad while it's playing. Ignore it. Go vote instead. You don't miss any of the actual video. S for sign, P for pass at the pinned comment of today's show. Look, I do not trust the depth on the offensive line. So if you still think Jason Peters can play, which at age 41 is a valid question if he can, then yeah, I'd have some interest, even if that ends up being maybe more of a next Monday or Saturday signing, but you're kind of getting out of time here. He wouldn't play much in the preseason anyway. The guys who have played in the preseason, these are all their PFF grades, by the way, I think TJ Bass actually done a really good job in pass protection. I think a little bit low on the run grade, but he's in there for the fourth quarter mainly and not the best results yet. Josh Ball has run blocked very well. A couple of nice runs have come behind Josh Ball. I will give him credit for that. He's also been kind of middling in pass pro, though I do think his game against Seattle last Saturday was the best game I've ever seen him play. Matt Farniok, Brock Hoffman, my math ain't mathin' here. Feel like they're really valuing the run blocking compared to their overall grades. Farniok, I think, has been a real disappointment. Hoffman had some buzz of a surprise roster candidate, and I don't think he's worthy of that at this particular stage. Those are your interior linemen. Your tackles, meanwhile, Asim Richards has actually been kind of nice. Pleasantly surprised so far by him, but he also needs more time. And although I want him on my roster, I am not sure I trust him to be like a guy who plays immediately in year 1. Matt Waletzko was really rough against Seattle. Boye Mafe cooked him a bunch, and now he's banged up too. I think he's a right side player mainly anyway, so that wouldn't help you if and when Tyron Smith goes down. Alex Taylor has been actually decent, but also not perfect, and Earl Bostick definitely needs more time. So I am a bit concerned in terms of your O-line depth. I would have interest in Jason Peters or any veteran out there. The issue is it's not a great group, right? Taylor Lewan's out there. I don't know if his knee is healthy at this stage. We talked a lot about Dalton Reisner in the past. I am I am confused why he is unsigned in late August. Probably means I was wrong about him and the NFL knows something we don't, whether that's the decline in play, injuries, or whatever. But he can be my sixth lineman. That's fine. Michael Schofield, Andrew Norwell, Justin Pugh are all kind of really older, banged-up guards that I don't know if I trust them at all, but maybe they're a little bit better than Josh Ball. So Peters and Reisner don't merely stand out as some of those top candidates at the offensive line, or maybe you wait till roster cutdown time or trade for somebody and maybe send away some of your good depth along the defensive line. Now, today's show is made possible by Rocket Money. Are subscriptions draining your wallet? The average person has around 12 paid subscriptions, and they might not even remember subscribing to like half of them. If you have no idea just how much you're spending each month, then you need Rocket Money. It's this great app that tracks all of your expenses so you know exactly where your money is going. Most people think they spend around $80 a month on their subscriptions, when in reality, the number is closer to $200. When you're signed up for so many things like streaming services used to watch one show, that's Apple TV for me, or free trust where you don't even lose, it's easy to lose track of what you're paying for. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Rocket Money can even negotiate to lower your bills for you, folks, up to 20%. All you do is take a picture of your bill, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. With over 3 million users and counting, Rocket Money customers save an average of $720 a year. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Cowboys. That's rocketmoney.com/Cowboys. Next up on the Rumors Roundup, is Mazi Smith already a bust? Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it from that perspective have already gone in a very negative direction from that perspective. So I myself am giving this the fake news designation for Mazi Smith. It is way too early to freak out about where Mazi Smith is at through like a game and a half-ish of actual snaps relative to the regular season. Like, I am not in that concerned category at this stage. I don't think it's going to be an issue for Mazi Smith. I think we have to relax and be patient here. Like, I'm old enough to remember when we were very quickly trying to write off, Jalen Tolbert a year ago, whatever. Now, to be clear, Mazi Smith has not been very good so far. 65 total snaps in the preseason, 1 tackle, 1 pressure, and a really bad PFF run grade on defense. Too often he's getting turned. And I think the reasoning here is Michigan had always asked Mazi Smith to read and then react. So kind of hold out, you don't have to get too far downfield, take on the double team, then do some reacting stuff. The Cowboys are asking him more to react, then read/react while you are reading. That takes time to grow, and Mazi Smith was always a developmental upside piece. Great athlete, was not yet the sum of his parts. So patience is important on that part. Now, here's what Mike McCarthy said on Mazi, saying, quote, "There's a reason why you sit the number of players that you do." And he's right there at the top of the list. He needs this work, and it's another opportunity to go out there against their first group. It's exactly what Mazi needs. So this is a safe space, nonetheless, to raise your concerns over the Cowboys' first-round pick, if you have any. What is your concern level over Mazi Smith at this time? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. It is 1, of course, on the low end. If you want to write it in 0, that's fine too, I guess. 10 on the high end. Get those concern levels for Mazi Smith in the comment section right now. My answer is like maybe a 2, somewhere in that range. Mazi Smith does have work to do. But I do think we need to relax here. Everyone had written, a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people had written off Jalen Tolbert after 1 year. Young people need time to grow and develop professionally. It's not even about what he's doing in August. It's about what he's doing, next August, the August after that, and of course later on this year too. So patience. You don't need to be calling Mazi Smith a draft bust already. So don't panic too much on the Mazi Smith front for the Cowboys. Speaking of alleged draft busts, are we seeing the Kelvin Joseph redemption arc? I'll give it 2 stars. Now, you guys who have watched the show for a long time know I have been plenty mean to Boss Man Fat, but I'll also give players credit where it is due. Joseph has played very well this preseason. Now, we can make comments about the level of competition, that's all fine, but Joseph in the nickel corner spot has looked far more comfortable and confident than what he ever did on the outside. Now, Joseph is still fighting for a roster spot. I want to make that part very clear as well. So with that in mind, what would you guys do with Kelvin Joseph? K to keep him, C for cut him. I do think he's looked better, but as we'll get into, there is still a bit of a numbers game going on right now at the cornerback spot for the Dallas Cowboys. K for keep, C for cut. Again, I think this is the best Joseph has looked. And at some level, I do think we overvalue the draft capital invested. How many times have you heard so-and-so was a blank round pick for a reason? Well, sometimes the reason is they were wrong, you know? Joseph was, much like some of these other Cowboys players we've discussed today, a bit of a raw developmental piece who needed time. Didn't play well at all last year. But so far in the preseason, he himself has broken up more passes than what he has allowed. He's allowed 1 catch on 6 targets for 13 yards and 2 pass breakups. That is a drastic shift from what we saw last year for Kelvin Joseph in the preseason or in the regular season, and what we saw from Deshaun Wright last year in the preseason. So Dallas does have options at corner. They have Trayvon Diggs. They have Stephon Gilmore. They have Deron Bland. Jordan Lewis, I think, might begin the year on the PUP list. So Deshaun Wright, Eric Scott, Izzy Mukwamu can play safety. You know, Kelvin Joseph has a real chance, knowing Bland can play on the outside, to potentially emerge as one of those last players to make the roster. And if Bones Fossil trusts him as a special teamer, then that will also go a long way for him making that last spot. Those 40 to 53-ish spots, hey, they need them to be special teamers. And Joseph, although not perfect, still too many penalties there, can help in that area.